So I think I can speak for most people watching this review. Screw Akito. This bastard is something else. I mean, granted, there's a curse going on in this family. I can't say 100% if this person caused the curse or is also being inflicted by it, but still, screw this bastard and the emotional trauma that he's caused this entire family. And seeing that Yuki was literally put into what could be called a torture room to make him so fearful and dependent on Akito, so no matter what, no matter the pain, would always come back to Akito. Holy shit, what a bastard. But you need a good antagonist in order to shake up a cast and really give you some interesting character arcs, and I don't think there was a better choice than what was seen here. I love just the arrogance of this person, that seeing Tohru, a kind soul, isn't a competition because there's no way this, basically what Akito is saying, this dumb bitch can't mend, Yuki's heart. There's no way Yuki won't come back to me. I have nothing to worry about because Akito is literally so delusional that he can't think that there can be people who can mend hearts the same way that Akito breaks them. Holy shit, this was an incredible episode. It really, really was. That whole confrontation between Tohru as well as Akito was some of the, if not the most intense sequence we've seen in Fruits Basket to date. Because we know to not trust this person. We also know that Tohru is someone who trusts a little too easily, and that conversation of just a simple hello, at any moment you felt like something truly bad could happen, but at the same time, nothing could happen and it will just be a form of a threat to make the others scared and run back home to big old Akito. And I love that conversation because for most of it, it didn't feel that tense for Tohru. However, you didn't know where it wanted to go. And when Yuki comes in, this gets twisted real fast. Why didn't you come home for New Year's? Why didn't you say hello? Do you want to make me mad? You really should be grateful for how much I'm allowing you to have. I'm not erasing this girl's memories. I'm not hurting this girl for my own pleasure. You should be thanking me. Do you want to go back into the room? What is wrong with this person? I am so excited to learn more, but Akito, holy shit. This was really our first real introduction in terms of cast dynamic. We've seen glimpses of Akito and how, he manipulates the family in the shadows, but we never really had a conversation with our central characters like this that ran for so long, and it really provided the most intense sequence, and just seeing poor Yuki, hand shaking, so fearful not only for himself, but worrying what could happen to Tohru because of his presence, him doing things for himself, not wanting to get emotionally hurt. Will that cause harm to Tohru? What is going to happen? And that shove really kind of highlights Tohru's growth. She's someone who naturally wouldn't do that normally, but hurting someone she cares for, it's a natural reaction of, sorry, class is starting. I really love that because it is such a contrast to what's currently the head of the family and who could be head of the family, is kind of how I'm viewing it. Like, obviously, I don't know how their kind of hierarchy works, if you could join the clan or not, but you can really tell a difference of someone who mends hearts, who cares for others, isn't without her faults, don't get me wrong, or someone who literally tortures people to make them dependent so emotional trauma can't escape them, and they'll always come crawling back home in fears that they'll get hurt more. It's literally the difference between training a dog with proper techniques and loving and caring nature, and beating a dog so it will be scared of you and never disobey you and basically follow every command. One's very healthy and natural progression, the other is absolutely sick and twisted and needs to be put down. And I love that dynamic, just seeing, Kyo just staring demon eyes at. It is, holy shit, I am so excited to see more and just where this family is, this clan overall is going to expand, because this was intense. The idea that for some reason, in the middle of all this, he trusts in Tohru so much that after playing just a game of badminton, just playing with friends, he forgets all about what just transpired and doesn't let him get consumed by that fear, which Akito obviously will assume he will and just come crawling back home. That's intense and probably the best sequence in just part of Fruits Basket 2019 so far, and obviously it's only going to get better. Something I really like the dynamic between both Yuki and Tohru as well as Kyo and Tohru is how obviously both of them I feel as if will fall in love, if not have already fallen in love with her. But I like the difference between both their characteristics, because for Yuki, it feels as if he's a very broken person. And obviously Tohru's kind of feels like the first person to really try to mend his heart and kind of set him on the correct path. And I can obviously see him falling in love with her, but at the same time, it feels so different from Kyo and Tohru, where with Yuki and Tohru, it feels more like he's trying to be mended, he's trying to find that void, he wants that void to be filled, but I'm not totally sure if that's the direction the show wants to go, because when it comes to Tohru and Kyo, it feels a lot more organic. There's the scene in this episode where you have a bunch of boys being like, oh, she's an airhead, she's not gonna boss me around, that's the perfect girl for me, and Kyo comes in and basically slaps the wall and kind of gives him the demon eyes to say, get lost. And Tohru, it just feels like she's super comfortable. She doesn't really feel like she's trying to mend his heart. Like, he obviously has his trauma, but just their dialogue, it comes across very organic, not like they're really forcing themselves upon one another. It feels as if they naturally just click for me. I mean, I am a little biased, I like Kyo more, but at the same time, it just feels like their dialogue and the way they act together and just how, he keeps getting bossed around by her, but not really getting bossed around. She'll just say, hey, let's go see the others, and he just can't say no more and more because he likes Tohru. Then when it comes with Yuki and Tohru, it feels more almost, I'm not sure the dynamic I want to compare it to, almost like a sort of family. Someone trying to mend someone very close to them, but I don't really get romantic chemistry from Tohru's side when it comes to Yuki, but I kind of get that in a very slight way from Kyo, but it'll be interesting to see where they obviously want to go with it. But I do like the difference between the two because it allows for very different sequences, as seen by just the general conversation and just, you can be an airhead when I'm around you, just don't do it when you're alone because you're probably going to get kidnapped, which is hilarious but also true. But then when it comes to Yuki, it's a lot more broken and almost like that, like big sister, mother, like that love that really you need when you didn't have it for your entire life. That's at least how I feel. But I just really enjoy where it's going, and obviously wherever they truly want to go, I'm going to be okay with, because like I've said weeks back, whoever a character wants to be with is who you should support, because that's what the character wants. As long as you're not going for someone like Akito, I don't think you can really be complaining. But it was really nice just seeing how all the serious and just kind of dramatic played out while also getting a lot of characterization, when the first half of this episode was pretty damn charming. You can definitely say Fruits Basket was ahead of its time, not judging people on what they wear, how they dress, their hair color, things like that, because you have the president of the school who is just a douche nozzle, who basically is like saying, how dare Momoji dress like that, he should be ashamed wearing girl clothes, all this bullshit, and then you just see how much of a condescending asshole he is, because if it was Yuki, he would be perfectly okay with it. Like, what a douche. I just love that scene playing out because you just have characters shaking it out. Dark Haru coming in to just literally beat the bastard down, to probably the funniest sequence in this entire series up till now. Hey, how can I prove my hair color is actually this way? Drags him to the washroom, comes back out, he's embarrassed, and Tohru has the audacity to say, how did you prove it? Which, holy shit, I had to pause. This was the first time I had to pause in Fruits Basket and say, holy shit, they went there, and I love that comedy scene so much. But just seeing all that play out, I just love it because it just felt so funny, because there's naturally people who would be like that, and just how they shut that shit down, and then just how they convince the other girls, like, really, is there anything wrong with this? I mean, look at him. And they all just pretty much get flustered and can't deny it, and then once Yuki's name gets dropped, it's like, all bets are off, and everyone agrees that, okay, everyone's okay, let's just move on right now. And just like the simple moments where you start off being like kind of that romantic shoujo of, oh, look at Prince Yuki, and then, he's trying to put on his charm, and that charm works a little too well that the entire school is basically dropping their panties. That's pretty much what happens. I just love how Fruits Basket, every time an episode starts, it feels as if recently, the first half of an episode, it sets the tone of like, okay, it's fun, it's cute, nothing too serious is happening, and then the second half of the episode will like roll around and you're just like, holy shit, I was not expecting this, but that's kind of like the perfect execution, because it sets your expectations as, oh, this is going to be fun, there's going to be a little bit of drama, a little bit of characterization, but nothing too serious, and then in comes Akito and all bets are off. That's what I really like about the formula of Fruits Basket, is how they naturally just, I guess the way I would put it is how it makes your expectations feel safe. It makes you feel like you don't have to worry too much. Yes, there's always the lingering eeriness that Akito could come in and shake up the cast and do something horrible, hell, even Shigure, but it still feels as if, you're feeling comfy, you're feeling secure, you probably have another week until something truly just, holy shit, that shook me up will happen, and then 2 minutes later, you're just like, are you really doing this to me? I was not expecting this, and it makes the delivery of just that shakeup, especially seen by Yuki and Akito, so much better, because you truly weren't expecting it. And that's what I love about the formula, is it really finds the proper way to balance the silly, the funny, the really heart-throbbing, either in a positive or a negative, and just blends it into one very unique package that lets this cast flourish, not in your traditional shoujo style, but rather in what I would call the Fruits Basket style, something that really has its own identity It doesn't feel like a copy and paste of past stories and just things like that. I think the voice acting, especially between that shakeup between Akito as well as Yuki, holy shit, like that really got some emotions out of me. I was tense up. It almost felt as if the way they went about delivering it, I didn't feel like I wanted to be Tohru in that situation. I was kind of cowering, similar to Yuki, just the way they were directing and delivering those lines. And when Tohru pushed Akito away, I was like, holy shit, I kind of felt like a coward like Yuki here, but thank God Tohru was here because it snapped me out of that. I might be the only one feeling that, but it just felt as if the way they went about directing it, it was trying to convince the viewer to feel as just fearful as Yuki. And if it wasn't for Tohru, who knows what would have happened. I mean, Kyo was looking in the distance, but, you know, obviously if something happened to Tohru, he would have been there, but it would have been interesting if Tohru wasn't there. Would Kyo have done something? I think there's a lot to do with just exploring this cast, not only on the personal and positive level, but also the very emotionally distraught level. And this was definitely my favorite episode of Fruits Basket, hands down, just for that scene between Akito, Yuki, and Tohru alone, but just how they blended the funny. Like, I mean, I had my favorite comedy scene, I had my favorite serious scene. I don't think there's any other episode that I should call my favorite episode up to this point, and we know it's just going to keep getting better and better. I thought this was a fantastic episode overall, but I'd be interested in here for fans of the original anime, fans of the original manga, or anime originals like myself. What did you think of this week's episode of a very funny but also very serious episode of Fruits Basket 2019? Let me know down in that comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like and also hit that subscribe button if you haven't been new. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.